Today, we're going to talk to Callum Macrae. We're going to learn how he got started in web development, what he's up to today, and what he's going to be speaking about at the upcoming Vuejs live conference. This video is sponsored by Get Nation. Be sure not to miss the Vuejs live conference happening October 20th and 21st. Vuejs Live will be a remote conference with 35 speakers and more than 10,000 developers attending. There will be over 10 free and pro workshops included. You can expect to hear from authors and core teams from these amazing libraries and projects. Learn from top Vue speakers, join live chat rooms, after parties, and fun activities. Discover the future of Vue and connect with other developers from around the world. Get your tickets now using the link in the description to get 20% off. Callum is an amazing developer, occasional musician, and loves Vuejs, and is the author of Vuejs Up and Running. Thanks for joining me today, Callum. Why don't you give everyone a quick introduction?
Hey, I'm Callum. As you said, I'm a Vuejs developer based in London, and occasionally a musician. I wish I was more of a musician. So I work with mostly creative development as of the last couple of years. So a lot of animation, a lot of heavy maths. It's good fun.
Wow.
And I try to use Vue as much as possible. It's definitely my favorite framework.
Awesome. So you said heavy math. So what does that involve?
So some of the stuff I work on, some of it can be quite simple. Say the kind of animations I'll show during the demos in my talk, they're quite simple. It's just like moving something from one point to another. A lot of the time, the browser's got a way of doing it for you. Sometimes some of the projects I work on, I just spent the last month on a project that was actually written in C++, so definitely no Vue, which required some pretty heavy algorithm implementation, some difficult maths, matrices, stuff like that. That's my jam, the complicated stuff.
Gotcha. Awesome. So, well, let's just ask this question real quick. What musical instruments do you play?
So I play drums, piano, and bass guitar.
Nice. Awesome. I love playing guitar as well and occasional drums. So that's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah. So let's go back to the beginning. How did you get started in web development?
So it was a while back. I think I was like 14 or 15, and I think it was like before Facebook, and I wanted to make a place for my friends to chat. So I downloaded PHP set up a website for my friends, and we hung out on there. And then I got annoyed at the limitations in PHP, so I started changing it, customizing it, adding stuff. Eventually became part of the core team for that, doing PHP development. Then moved to front-end development because they had no front-end developers, and just carried on doing front-end development since then.
Yeah, so something you kind of just fell into. And I think that even that journey is very relatable to a lot of people, because a lot of people become developers because they find a lack in something. Something doesn't quite do what they want it to do. And so they figure out how to make it do what they want it to do. And then they figure out, oh, this isn't just magic. It's computer code. I can actually do this. I can, make it do what I want. And that kind of sparks that interest, and you just rock it from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So at the Vuejs London conference, you're going to be speaking about animation in Vue.js. So what all is involved in animation in Vue.js? Do you use a particular library?
So there's a bunch of different ways of doing it, depending on what you need. There's helper methods for doing CSS or JavaScript animation. It's also quite easy to hook in a library like GreenSock. There's a bunch of different ways of doing different things, and I'll be covering them all in my talk.
Nice. All of them.
Briefly. I won't go fully into depth, but
Awesome.
yeah.
A lot of developers, when they're first getting into development, they are afraid that they're going to have to know a lot of math. And I would say generally you don't need to know a lot of math. But when it comes to animations and this sort of stuff, that is when the math kicks in, correct?
It depends. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're, say, moving elements in and around when... so a lot of it can be as simple as saying, I want to go from this CSS property to this one, say, translate 0 to translate 300 pixels, and you don't really need much maths for that. Yeah, so I'd say most animation on the web, you don't need a lot of maths. It's all fairly simple stuff.
Okay, nice. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that talk at the Vuejs London conference. And before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to add or anything you want to shout out? Anything at all?
Yeah, just one thing. So I'm the author of an O'Reilly book called Vuejs Up and Running, which is mostly designed for beginners to Vuejs, but I'm sure if you're an advanced user, you'll be able to find something in it that you didn't know.
Awesome. Yes, for sure. So be sure to join us October 20th and 21st at the Vuejs Live Conference. We'll see you there.
See you there.
Be sure not to miss the Vuejs Live Conference happening October 20th and 21st. Vuejs Live will be a remote conference with 35 speakers and more than 10,000 developers attending. There will be over 10 free and pro workshops included. You can expect to hear from authors and core teams from these amazing libraries and projects. Learn from top Vue speakers, join live chat rooms, after parties, and fun activities. Discover the future of Vue and connect with other developers from around the world. Get your tickets now using the link in the description to get 20% off.